Well, I'm here at the beginning of my journey. We're going to be going to Ardnamuchan Peninsula on the west coast of Scotland. It doesn't sound so far, but in actual fact, the planned journey time will be about 5 to 6 hours. And that's going to be worthy of some nice YouTube material. It's a nice day here in the northeast of Scotland, and I'm hoping it's going to be a good day for showing off some scenery on the way. So let's get in the car and let's get going. Okay, so now we are fully charged up and we are heading off to the Ardnamuchan Peninsula. So it's a continuous drive and it's predicting we will get to the destination, which is 196 miles away at 30%. So let's continue on with the drive. So because we've got 100% charge, regenerative braking is reduced for the first small portion of the journey. The car is nicely warmed up, but it is quite a mild day outside. It's about 11 degrees. They're predicting 13 degrees in Aberdeenshire later on today. So we're on the A95 and we are between Aberlour and Granton-on-Spey, and we will be coming up to the village called Cromdale in about 4 miles time. It's one of my favourite roads to drive on. It's pretty quiet and you can do some decent driving speeds as well, and if you do come across slow cars, there's plenty of overtaking opportunities, as you can see. So we are at 80% full, and if we have a look at the energy, let's have a look at the energy. We are below profile at the moment, so we're predicted to arrive with about 26% battery. So that's well within reasonable parameters. We do have quite a strong wind to drive into, so that's going to suck our energy out a fair bit as well. But yes, I'm just going to continue enjoying the drive. So here we are, the A9 at Aviemore. The weather has clouded over, and luckily we've got a clear run, so we're just going to be driving on the A9 to Kingussie, and then we will turn off there onto the A86 and then head across to Speenbridge on that road. And here is where the road straightens out. So on my previous video we turned right here into Craigmeggy Nature Reserve. Now we will just simply carry on along the shores of Loch Laggan towards Speenbridge. So in terms of where we are now, we've got 95 miles to go, so we're about halfway through the journey, and let's see where we are in terms of energy. So we're still predicted to be arriving with 24% energy, which is perfectly adequate, and we will be stopping for lunch very soon at the end of Loch Laggan. We've got this place called Laggan Dam, and we will I'll show you what that looks like. So this is the Laggan Dam, and I've been here before when the spillway has been in full flow from both ends of the dam, and it's been a very wet time. But this time, not much water coming through the dam. Okay, so we are now on the A82. We've just left Speen Bridge and we're going to be heading down to Fort William, and then we are going to be turning right onto the Mallaig Road. And the weather, as you can see, is a complete contrast to the northeast of Scotland. It's cloudy and it's rainy, but I'm hoping we'll at least be able to try and convey a little bit of scenery as we progress. We've still got 76 miles of driving left to do, so we're nowhere near finished with this journey. And once we've got past Glenfinnan, you will see that the roads become quite a lot more twisty. So we are just leaving Corpac, which is a village connected to Fort William. We've got a nice bit of road most of the way to Glenfinnan now, and after Glenfinnan it becomes a much twistier affair. We've got 66 miles left of driving to do, so I'm just going to hit the fast forward button and then you can enjoy some scenery by the side of the loch. So we are now just past Glenfinnan, and we have got one of the last straight bits of road coming up. We have got 53 miles of driving left to do. The thing to note though is how much time it's estimated it's going to take. It's going to take 1 hour 47 minutes. So that gives you an idea as to how slow the roads are likely to be coming up. This is, I wouldn't let this stretch of road deceive you. It's not going to be like this for very much longer at all. In fact, you can just see that the next bit of twisty road is here. So what I'll do is I'll just fast forward and we'll just get through all of this. Okay, so we are coming up to the point where we are going to be turning off the A861, and then we're going to be going around the Ardnamuchan Peninsula on a smaller A road, which is a single track A road for the main part. So here we are. Actually, I make a correction. We are turning off the A830 onto the A861. So we are on the A861, and as you've seen in that fast forward period, it's quite a decent road actually. I was expecting it to be a very windy single track road, but I'm guessing it must have been upgraded over the years. So we are heading to the village of Sallen, and then we are going to be turning off onto a B road. What you can't see is the view of the sea to the right. You're just looking at the road, looking up ahead. but maybe there'll be a couple of views, especially coming up right now. There we go, there's the sea. Isn't that pretty? Very nice. So here we are, we're still on the A861, and as you can see, it is now a single track road. Very twisty single track road, although I have seen worse single track roads than this. So what we have got 28 miles of driving left to do, and it's still estimating 1 hour 11 minutes to drive that. So it's suggesting our average speed from now on is going to be less than 30 miles an hour, which, yeah, you know what, I can believe that. But, yeah, so we drive along the A861 for another just under 5 miles, then we turn onto a B road, and then we get to a small village called Kilchoan. Okay, so we turn right here to come onto the road to Kilchoan. This also has a ferry terminal at the end. And my expectation is that this will be quite a twisty single track road most of the way. I think we're in the village of Sallen here. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the benefits of an electric car when it comes to single track roads. We get many single track roads in this part of Scotland. This is, in many respects, a place that time and money forgot about. So many other places have been upgraded in terms of roads, but this place definitely hasn't been. Now, when it comes to single track roads and electric cars, my opinion is that it's less stressful to drive along these kind of roads with an electric car. You don't have any gear changes to worry about. You don't have any braking to worry about. You've just got one pedal driving, and this is something which is really quite an attractive feature of having an electric car when it comes to such roads. So we're going to head on to Kilchoan. It's what? It's I reckon it's 10 miles to get there, and no, it's 23 miles to the end destination. At Kilchoan there is a ferry terminal, and we will discuss a feature once we get there. So we are in the village of Kilchoan, and it's the last significant village, the most westerly significant village on the Ardnamuchan Peninsula. Before we get to our cottage, we're going to do a short detour and go down to the Kilchoan ferry terminal. And at the ferry terminal there is a car charger. And what I want to do is see whether the car charger actually works. Now, the Chareplace Scotland app suggests that it's available. It hasn't always been available, but it will be interesting to see whether that is the case, because where we are right now is quite remote. You know, we're 60 miles away from Fort William, which is the next largest concentration of car chargers. So if this doesn't work, then that wouldn't be a very good thing if you didn't have any other charging options. Now, we're going to be going to the cottage, and we're going to be plugging in anyway, but what we want to do is just go down here and just see what the public options are, and see how that works. It should, in theory, be free, and it should, in theory, be a 43 kilowatt hour. A 43 kilowatt charger. So I can see green lights on the charger, which is a good sign. That means that they are available. my friend suggested that they looked a bit corroded as well, exposed to the maritime conditions. Right, here we are. So let's go here. This is probably the most rural of charges I've ever seen. Right, so we have got 26% charge. We've got 5 miles of driving left to do, so that's not too bad. Let's get this thing charged up. All right, well, here we are, and as my friend has said, it is rather corroded. So let's get this thing plugged in. So in order to do this, we go onto the Chareplace Scotland app, and we zoom in on where we are, which is right there. We've got the Chareplace Scotland app. We've got CCS available, so we'll just start charging. It's telling me to enter the email. This is annoying. Hold on a second. So the app forgot my email. All right, so I'm logged in. Let's start this on. So the Chareplace Scotland is not very good. Let's call this number. Well, that was very disappointing. Even though it says it's available, the charger doesn't work. Let's have a look. I'll show you in a closer view. So it says that there's an error. It's a stop by unknown error, and it's a CCS error. We've got a telephone number here to call, and when I called it, it was a BP Pulse telephone number. It's not even a Chareplace Scotland telephone number. So I was rather disappointed in this result, and it goes to show that in remote parts of the world like this, you cannot rely on public chargers. I'm disappointed. So we are just over a mile away from our final destination. I'm going to have to say the drive to Kilchoan on the B road was a real mixed affair. Some of it was fairly standard fare as far as single track roads are concerned. Other bits of single track road were really very, very twisty indeed. The average speed, I would say, was probably about 20 miles an hour, and that's not an exaggeration. There's some sections where I was doing about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Here, this is not the B road, this is just an unclassified road, and yeah, this is fairly typical of what unclassified roads are in rural Scotland. So, need to look for a turn off to the left somewhere. Is it down here? Yes, it is. Turn left down here. So we're going to Dondi's house.
Pretty big potholes around it.
Okay, and a hard turn to the right. A very hard turn to the right. And here we are. Right, So we have got 23% battery. The original forecast was 30% battery. We've done just under 200 miles. So it's time to get this thing plugged in. So Kilchoan was a bit of a disappointment, but at the same time it wasn't a surprise. The thing about this holiday is that I always come prepared. As before, every single other cottage will have a power supply, and if we go round to here, so there's my car. So all I have to do is wire this up here, then plug in my charger, finally plug in this car, plug into the car, and let's go in and get this sorted out. So that's all there is to it. So here we are at Ardnamuchan Point Lighthouse. This isn't actually the most westerly point in Great Britain. That exists there. This is about 1 kilometre further south. It doesn't have a footpath going to it though. It's quite rough stuff to walk across. So if we have a look the other way, here is the lighthouse, and there's a couple of other features to point out. Well, at Ardnamuchan Point we found an electric car charger. So this is a Chareplace Scotland electric charger. However, when I looked on the app, it doesn't exist. So we've got an ID number here, 53711, and I searched for it on the app and it wasn't showing up, and it wasn't showing up on the map for this. But this looks like it's either going to be a 7 kilowatt charger or a 22 kilowatt charger. It's type 2 sockets, so this will be useful for anyone visiting Ardnamuchan Point. So let's just go and have a look at the lighthouse. There it is. It's now turned quite wet and quite windy, so we will be walking back to the cottage now. Well, it's a new year, and we're on the path from Port Juaik to Sana Beach. So Sana Beach is just there, and behind you can see the Isle of Egg. So it's gale force winds on the coast here. So we'll just continue here. So we're close to the headland of Sana. Over here you can see Ardnamuchan Point. And if we go around to here, we've got Sana Beach. And if we go around to here, you can see the Sana village right there. So it's a breezy day. I'd say the gusts on the headlands are around 40 to 50 miles an hour. So we'll continue up to some of the tops of the headland and have a look north. Okay, so I'm on the headland now, and it's very windy here. Guessing the gusts at times are hitting 60, maybe even 70 miles an hour. Very windy. What we can see here is the Isle of Egg, and it's now time for me to head back home now. So we didn't make it onto the Isle of Mull. There were various disruptions because of COVID-19, and additionally there were planned cancellations due to strong winds. So instead what we did, we went up to the summit of Ben Heant on the Ardnamuchan Peninsula. This is about 590 meters tall, and as you can see, you can look all the way out to Rum over there, and over there we have Kilchoan. And if we look around, we've got the Isle of Mull over here. So it's a short walk. It's probably about an hour to get up to the summit, and it's a very worthwhile viewpoint up here. Okay, so over here we've got Ben Resipol, which is part of the Ardnamuchan Peninsula. Looking round, we've got Mallaig over here. We've got the Isle of Egg over here. The Isle of Rum further back. We've got the Ardnamuchan Peninsula looking west. And then we've got Ardnamuchan Point. And then we've got Kilchoan. And then we've got the Isle of Rum right here. So that is the view from the top of Ben Heant. And well, this is the last day in the holiday cottage. I was going to do a piece to camera outside, but the wind is absolutely howling, and we've just got these incessant showers coming in. So we're going home now. It's a 200-mile drive, same journey as before. The difference now is that we've got a forecast of snow combined with high winds later on. Here we've got just rain showers, but we will be encountering snow very, very soon. Yep. Right, let's be on our way.
It is wild.
Recording. Always a tricky business getting up here. So gusts here, I'm reckoning, are 50 mile an hour from the northwest, and the yeah, it's definitely blowy. So they're forecasting gusts of 60 to 80 miles an hour along the coast of Moray and Caithness later on today. There's a bit of snow in the air right now, and it's going to make for an interesting drive home, I suspect. I'll just stop here and take the bin out. And off we go on the main road. So it takes about an hour to get to the A road, which is also a single track road. It's about 25 miles, and it's often the case that I can do no more than 20 to 25 miles an hour, such as around these corners here. But it's you just take it steady. One or two straight bits where you can go a bit faster than that. Okay, so we are now back on the A861 near I think this is Loch Moydart. So we're on the way back to the A830, and as you can see, there's no snow here. Temperature is 3 degrees Celsius. And it's a much better day compared to the drive out on the way out. So here we've got the Glenfinnan viaduct, and we've got the Munros in the background. You can see these Munros are quite snowy, and yeah, we're going to get a lot more snow coming up driving further east from here. We're going to east from Roybridge. We've got slow going on Google Traffic all the way to Lagan, and then around Aviemore there's some more slow going. So it shows you that the winter conditions are going to become more assertive further east, and it will be interesting to see how the winter tyres fare in those conditions. So we are now in Fort William, and what a difference a few miles makes. There was no snow at all in Glenfinnan, and yet 5 miles down the road everything is covered white. We're not talking serious depths at the moment. We're just talking about less than maybe half a centimetre or so. But yeah, the first of the slow traffic is before Speen Bridge, and it'll be interesting to see whether it's cleared up. We're in between showers now, so let's see how things are. So here we are in Roy Bridge, and as you can see, it's starting to look a bit more like a winter wonderland. The road's nice and clear, and the only issue I had with the road between Fort William and Torlundy were slow drivers in front of me. The road itself was fine, just a little bit of snow in the middle where the tyres weren't going. So this is probably how it's going to be all the way to Aviemore. There's going to be some snow showers, and in those snow showers we'll probably have the road covered white, but outside the snow showers the snow will melt away quite readily. The other thing to note is that it's a lot less windy here than it was on the coast. It was a howling gale there, whereas here it's there's no movement on the trees at all. So that's encouraging. It means that there shouldn't be any drifting of snow, and drifting of snow can be a real problem. So we have come to a halt at Tulloch Station, and the situation is that just around the corner there is a gritter lorry which has just come off the road, and it's being pulled out back onto the road by a tractor, and we'll see how long we will stay here for. Well, here we are by the side of Loch Lagan. The gritter pulled over. It was pulled out of the ditch by a tractor, and managed to get past. As you can see, the road conditions are a bit snowy. It certainly caused a couple of cars in front of me to wobble a bit, and but I managed to get past them, and this is what we've got. If I were to, I'm going to do a brake test on a nice straight bit. So if I just apply a brake test now, we slow down quite nicely, and then we can just speed up. So yeah, there was no skidding at all, and yeah, that's what you can do with winter tyres, and it gives you a lot of confidence, which you just simply don't get with summer tyres. Okay, so we're on the A9 and we're at Aviemore. I reckon there's probably about 5 to 10 centimetres of snow here, but the roads are nice and clear, just the usual steady traffic. We'll be turning off here, and my expectation is that the only problem we're going to have will be on the high road from Dufton to Huntly, and then the high road from Huntly over the Glens of Fowdland back to my house. I think it's just a roll of the dice as to whether that will be a problem or not. So we are now on the summit of the Glens of Fowdland, and we have got no problems with snow here. We've got strong winds, and there is some snow drifting in the wind, but there's just so little snow settles on the ground here, so that's not a problem at all. So we're at 21%. The battery is predicted to be at 19% when we get back to my house, and that prediction has been in force. It's been in place since Newton Moor. Well, I'm back home, and it's a windy day. The trees are certainly blowing a hoolie, and it's a bit of snow as well. So it's an interesting journey home. Overall, we made 280 watt hours per mile. So even though we had a tailwind, I consider that to be fairly high consumption. We did have a lot of wet roads and even some snow on the roads for a small portion of the time. Now, I haven't figured out what my next video is, but no doubt I will have one coming up very soon. But I would like to thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon.